Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Bald and Bonkers Show. Join your hosts Christopher Mole and Dakota Franson as they take you on a wild ride through the world of the supernatural, with a humorous twist that'll have you laughing and shaking in your boots at the same time. From ghosts to aliens to cryptids, no topic is off limits on this show. And the best part? You don't have to be a believer to join in on the fun. So grab a drink, kick back, and tune in every weekend for new episodes. And if you want even more of the Bald and Bonkers experience, be sure to subscribe to our Patreon page for exclusive content you won't find anywhere else. Let's get weird. Oh, and for the whiners out there, viewer discretion is advised. There you go, you entitled pricks.
Well, sorry, he's laughing because the entitled pricks bit of the intro always gets him. But holy crap, things have been getting weird.
They certainly have. I've put too many of these sweeties in my mouth all at once there. I didn't expect that to happen. I like my sweeties, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
but honestly,
like something in your mouth some days.
Yes, well, you know, Dakota, it was you that showed me your pictures yourself. You know, you still get that one in me with the banana. You still get that one in me with it.
I probably have to go digging through Facebook, but yeah, it's somewhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think of the news so far? I mean, I'm kind of going away, but I'm very cautious. I'm cautious of what's coming out.
Well, we're going to probably have a few people pop in that don't necessarily watch Ghost Squad Scotland because they have more of a preference towards the UFO subject. But why don't you go into what you were dealing with last night, man?
Oh my God, that... Well, Gina in the chat there, she had the same thing. I was running... At the beginning of the show, everything was going weird. My internet was lagging really bad. And I was like, what's going on here? So I reset the router and I connected it to my 5G, and I was getting something ridiculous, like 500 meg per second internet, right? And I says, it can't be my internet. And I was getting super fast internet because while I was resetting that, I checked that, you get these speed tests. So I checked that, and I was getting it was way up into 500 meg, and it was like 200 meg upload and all that. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing, this 5G, And I says, my God, it's faster than my house internet. And I thought, right. So I started going with the show, and then my show started crackling. Am I coming through to you okay right now?
Right now, we're fine, yes.
It was absolutely fine. But I could hear voices. No in my head, obviously. And here I could hear, like, you know how you pick up mobile phones, the old-fashioned phones for some of you out there, younger generation ones with the wires. And you used to be able to put them on, you used to be able to hear like neighbours talking. I could hear that. And I could hear like whispering. It was like 1659553, and it was like American voices, and I thought they were Irish, but they weren't, they were American. And they were like saying 165, and it was like codes. That's how they were talking to each other. There was a woman's voice and a man's voice, and they were like contacting each other. But I went through the show, and I was getting laggier and laggier and laggier. And then, in Drew's Abandoned Paranormal Vlog, she was hearing the same thing. She could hear like voices and stuff. And then all of a sudden, one of the guests started talking about a UFO experience near the kind of end of the show. And all I heard was the voice going, she started talking 19665. She started talking 1144, like that, about subjects. And I'm like, what? And I could hear this. And I was like, what is going on here? And then it stopped. As soon as I said it, it was like, it just stopped. Then I muted my mic. I could still hear it. And they all muted their mics, and I could still hear it. It was so weird. And there was a man said something. There was a man says they've started talking again. And then the man said again, he says, oh, you're not talking about me. See, the thing is, I don't know if they had an attachment, right? There was spiritual voices in amongst that, right? I will say this, there was something attached to them, right? And it was talking, but there was something else. So there was something else. At the start of the show, I found it strange. There was a few strange sounds. It was odd, right? It was awful laggy, and I just couldn't explain it. And it was so weird. And see tonight, look at me tonight. I'm connected to my house internet. I'm only getting 100 meg per second tonight, and everything's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know.
Here's a thing that was going on. It's like we got to talking about it. He was telling me more about it. I had to basically, with all this UFO stuff, I've had a bunch of people start messaging me, asking me what I know about, say, like the incident in Vegas, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
I do want to say, I really hope this is just really bad timing. We were supposed to have a UFO investigator from Bufon joining us. Yes. However, he had to cancel last minute due to a family emergency, and which, by all means, yes, for the love of God, you're more than welcome to reschedule. You know, we're not going to bash you because of that. You know, family sucks. You know, especially when they're down.
I just don't know. There's something going on. The internet's abuzz with all what's happened with that guy coming out for the Pentagon, and obviously what happened in Las Vegas with the UFO and the police officers. I mean, that's actually quite spectacular. Do you see the UFO?
Oh my God, that is a cat. I mean, this is why I say, you know, we have all these people say, you know, Lex Paranormal, just as an example. Yeah, I'm gonna put you on the spot, motherfucker. Well, who's trying to say, if UFOs are happening so much, like people are saying, why aren't there more pictures, being that everybody's got a camera on them nowadays? Sometimes it's dumb luck, and quite frankly, that officer had some of the best fucking dumb luck, and I hope that was, he goes to respond to the scene. All the news reports, they play the call into 911. You can hear the dispatcher thinking that this is just another crazy person. It's Las Vegas.
Yeah.
You know, no, I can't blame the judgment. But then the officer responds to the scene, and as he responds to the scene, he not only does he see something fly off, his body cam catches it.
The cruiser caught it too. The cruiser caught see the cruiser camera in the front of the car.
Yeah.
It caught it too, and it's like a green flashlight coming up and then boom, shooting away, which is quite interesting because the boy that was working in his car in the garage, he said he heard this thump. It was like something coming down really hard, going thump. And he went out, him and his father went out, and there was this big, tall thing. There was two of them. See, a lot of people didn't realise this. There was actually two of them standing together. One was standing behind the other one. And they kind of ran off. And then when the boy went out to the police officer, you see this green light appearing in the sky and just shooting off.
Yeah, that's the whole reason why the incident's being taken serious. Even the police are seeing something. One thing I noticed is that fits a description of an incident my mom told me about back in November, where she saw a green flash of light all of a sudden disappear while she was on her way to work.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's not just that. I mean, look at I've not uploaded the picture, guys, but there was a UFO sighting 3 days ago, and it was traveling with the with the red arrows, 1,000 miles per hour.
Yeah,
it was keeping up with them. In fact, it's actually the red arrows were flying in like formation, and it was sitting with them all the way. Mm-hmm. That's not a drone. Drones can't go that fast. Drones cannot go that fast.
I would love to see a drone that would be able to make those maneuvers.
I just think we need to be careful though. I know that this is coming out quite quick, which I find there's just something not quite right about it. I think, obviously, what you were saying about who the aliens might be, they're more like government extraterrestrials. What can you tell me about the extraterrestrials that we're seeing? So what were they then?
Not government. Well, they are tied to government, yes. And Dot, I believe you can actually validate me on this one. It was in the Telegram, one of the Telegram groups I'm in. For Dr. Michael Sala. Elena obviously was getting a lot of questions, and even she was saying that this does not sound like something she's familiar with. She's familiar with taller grays. You know, there's a lot of races out there that have bigger eyes than typical humans here on Earth, But the big mouth kind of threw her off, so she went to ask her contacts. I did the same thing. Roughly around the same time, we both started hitting the airwaves. My thought process is like, if it is a legitimate being, it would have to be some sort of hybrid. Elena stated that these beings were most likely, they were non-biological, was the official statement from her contacts with the Federation, otherwise known as synthetics. That real crews are not risked for these types of motives. And that one of the military bases near Las Vegas, and there's several, is participating in the Global Disclosure Program. And the reason why it does seem like this stuff is moving so fast is because they are trying, our side is basically took over the Blue Beam situation that everybody's freaking out about. They took that over, and they're trying to push it to where the people that wanted to repress this stuff all along, they cannot hold it back. They're trying to push and push. They're going to make it to where, I mean, with that, David Grush, he even said, we're not alone. There's several whistleblowers. I mean, there was a one in Sumatra that responded, that was deployed in the 2009 tsunami that hit the area. It had a black octangle with a pyramid on the top.
What's this? I've not had a chance to look, guys. I'm sorry, because I was away the day doing like ghost stuff and all that with Drew's abandoned paranormal in the chat there. What's this? I see that Russell Brand's talking about it. That seemingly they're saying now that they've got bodies. They've got bodies. Was it Roswell? So they have got bodies. For
Roswell's
and South America.
There's been there's been bodies recovered in Brazil. And there were, I should rephrase, there were survivors. The Americans bargained with the Brazilians in order to bring them up here. There was a survivor of Roswell that we all knew about. And like you said, they're even saying something that we talked about here on the show, is that some of these craft that allegedly came down, they were joyriders. They were outside seeing,
that's what I
then
find,
something went wrong.
See, I think, right, I don't know if this is, because I'm in the UFO field, I'm not hanging with, but see the Roswell crash. Do you think it was something to do with the nuclear tests?
Actually, that was maybe believed to be what's going on. That's possibly what's going on.
Right. So they were testing nuclear weapons all the way up until the late 80s, right? So, and there's been crashes in South America and stuff like that. I think I was watching something one night, and it was this top UFO guy. I think it was actually, what's his name? It was Dr. Stephen Greer. He was going on about this, and he was saying that every time we detonated a nuclear bomb, it did something to this a different reality where these creatures came from. Every time it would cause disasters in their reality, their world. So, see, this is the thing. This is I want to think, oh yes, it's coming. We've finally got disclosures here and that. But I'm very, very cautious in the US government, because I know what they're like, and I know what they can do. Not just the US government, the British government, we're diabolical for it. Get what I mean? Because look at the UFOs that's at that air show 4 days ago now, with the red arrows. That was over a military base. And then you talk about Rangeland Forest. You talk about how they turned off the nuclear missiles and stuff like that. You look at Ukraine now, where all the UFO sightings in Ukraine's off the scale. Yeah, I mean, it's. I just think, I feel like something really big and amazing is about to happen, but I feel that there's people working against it to try and stop it at the same time. And
they're outnumbered, though.
Maybe they're outnumbered, but I still think they'll try and pull something off. I really do think.
Oh no, they're going to, because they don't know what else to do. It's. I've said it several times on the show. Tommy Lee Jones said it best in Men in Black: the person is smart, people are dumb.
Yeah, that's quite interesting what Dobie Sock said, isn't it?
Yeah, we have a guest that suddenly had a family emergency when we got talking about this. In fact, as I was saying earlier, but then we kind of got distracted. Chris and I got to talking about what he was going through last night, and I was hearing somebody patch in.
Yeah.
There were certain tones, like at the beginning when you would start logging into dial-up, you hear that, that.
Mm-hmm.
I was hearing something that sounded a lot like that. It's like somebody's tapping in. That's why I put the message out as the intro was playing for people to bust out their headphones because the link's been compromised.
I can, for the last 4 days non-stop, I've had like, it's like that weird tendinitis or whatever it's called in your ear, right? And every time I say, listen, I'll let you talk, it goes away. It's weird. It's like, I don't know if it's like, it's a warning thing for me to watch out for. I just feel they are watching. I think they're watching us all. Everybody in that chat, if you are into UFOs and you are into this kind of stuff, you're getting watched. Everybody's getting watched right now because they're scared. I think they're scared because they know that their time is nearly up.
Speaking of which, this is not directly involved with UFOs, but it is all in the same time. Remember what I was saying about Robert Kennedy Jr.?
You said something about that in the video get turned down.
Yeah. He was doing an interview with Mike Tyson, and he got to talking about the assassination of his father and uncle, JFK.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this, and just remember, we're backed up on Rumble. We go out to about 50 plus different programs just because we expect shit to happen. So if all these episodes go to disappear, we've pissed somebody off.
Yeah.
Now, when you think about it, if anybody's going to know about what happened that day, it's going to be immediate family when it comes to the JFK assassination. So he goes to talk about it. He said he fully believes that the CIA had a major role. YouTube took the interview down.
Aye. Exactly.
And, there's a number. He even talks about it on his Twitter feed. Now, granted, politician, he's trying to run for president, so he may be trying to go with what everybody's talking about, understandably so. But in the same time, he's getting harassed, being called a conspiracy theorist. So I was like, motherfuckers, if anybody's going to know, what happened that day.
There's my brother in the chat. I told you I had been abducted. Sometimes I wish, Drew, they never brought you back. In fact, if he's a blessed extraterrestrials up there, he stays in London. I'll give you the address after. You should go and take him to the planet Zorg or something like that for a couple of months. He'll tell you all about his fascination with tanks and guitars.
Yeah, why do you think they brought him back?
I know. They didn't take him away for long. They only had him away for 20 minutes or something like that, didn't they?
Oh no! But dude, that just reminded me of something. Oh, Ann Bender. Oh, that lady, this wonderful lady. I can only imagine the things she's picking up on with everything going on in the world right now. But there was a news report I came out. There was another one that's tied to whistleblowers going towards Congress. And I didn't have much time to look into it because I barely saw it just before we started to come on and set up. There was one ship that was spotted in this group went in. They said the inside was like the size of a football field. Obviously talking about American football for our international audience.
Yes, we play... But I don't know why you play football because yours is a ball and yours is more like a... But it doesn't matter. Just keep telling me what you're talking about.
It's more like handed. Yeah, I know. That's a whole nother show, Mr. Aluminium.
Yeah. A story for another time, as Mike would say.
But the outside of the ship was maybe 30 feet in diameter, while the inside was like the size of a football field. It's like, holy fuck, Doctor Who got it right. Yeah, I know. It's like, that was my exact thought. It was like, holy shit. Holy shit, the fucking TARDIS is real.
I need a bag like that. I need like a cupboard. Like a cupboard that I can put all my stuff in and then shut the door. You know?
Right.
Look, obviously they're using a lot of these extra... That's weird. Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
Mm.
It was like
I
a.
heard
It was like. It was like a pop. It was. Did you not hear that? Did any of you hear that about a minute ago? And it was like a pop. It was like somebody picking up a phone. That's what it was like. It was like a pop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna people listening to this show. If pay attention to all of our socials. We're gonna report if something happens.
Yeah. Listen.
Now they can't necessarily do anything physically to us because that would only back what we're saying tonight. Yeah. Pop goes the weasel. Yeah, definitely.
Up goes the weasel, and I think it's happening again. I think they're talking. Look, if we disappear and we're horribly disappeared, some you guys in the chat are going to have to take over and look for us. You don't know, that's what might happen. It's like some of these people in real life that have thought they've contacted the extraterrestrials, and then the next day they've just disappeared.
Or all of a sudden the story goes that they go into rehab, and all of a sudden, they just look like a good doppelganger. All of a sudden they're missing birthmarks and speaking a different.
That's
basically it's a.
I've got no noise about me. Oh, it's happening again. I can hear talking. I heard something there. I think that obviously they're into this kind of thing.
Well, maybe try putting your headphones on your mic to see
know
if anything comes through. No, it's just like, think about it. Yo, shh. I physically went in and started messing with your settings to say something, Chris?
My screen's out. My screen keeps going out.
Oh, this is getting fun. Yeah, you're fucking bugged, man.
Did you see that?
You're bugged. Yeah, I saw the brightness on you kind of adjust a little bit, like your screen went dark.
Wait, I'll turn this up a wee bit. I can turn up my main light a wee bit. Is that better?
No, I'm just saying. That's interesting.
Wait, but no, why bug me? What you bug him for? Come on, seriously. You've got trillions of dollars, US government, and you're bugging me. Bug him.
Possibly because I would know how to spot it quicker.
But it's not as if I can get rid of it. It's not as if I can get rid of the bugging. How do you get rid of bugging? Do you get like a spray or something?
Kinda. Here's what you do. You take all of your electronics, your computers, your iPads, your iPhones, everything, your Siri, your Alexa, you put it in the bathtub, you run the water.
But it's like, well, why would they want to bug me? I think it's just this that's bugged. I honestly just think it's this that's bugged, John Morris, the CIA MI6 are watching all of us. I'm sure of it. Yes.
Oh, yeah, because I've invited retired CIA agents to come on the show.
I thought I heard something there again. It's weird because it's every now and again. It's like. So you ever get the phones in your houses, the ones with the wires, right? Ever worked in an office where there was at the school when I went to school and that they had these phones you could listen, you pick it up and you could hear what people were saying. Again, it was another phone connected to the other phones. You could listen into their conversation. You have no chance. Chris loves his what? Loves his gadgets.
Chris loves his gadgets. I know. That's why I said that. But here's the thing. It's true. But a Faraday cage can actually be compromised too if not built appropriately there, Dobby.
But the thing is, why bug me? It's like somebody going to bug Benny Hill or something like that. Yeah, I mean, it's not as if I'm the architect of the world order that's about to become the new age of humanity. It's not as if I'm in charge. Why don't they date to Elena or date to you? Well, but
They
maybe
try
you're
with
done.
Elena. They try it with Elena all the time, but something fights back.
But why bug me?
I mean, have you seen her videos of her recent trips to the Middle East? She
I've
had
no
things
look.
in the sky flying around her.
Yeah,
In fact,
guys.
not a lot of
That's
people
that.
actually know this. There are long distance listening devices that use lasers. Their range is hundreds of miles if done appropriately.
Listen, whoever's listening to me right now and whoever's bugged me right now, I think you should bug Drew's Abandoned Paranormal Vlog Scotland. It's amazing what you would learn from her. She knows a lot more about the UFOs than I do.
They just can't understand her.
Aye, maybe their artificial intelligence will take a meltdown if it's turned into Mrs. Doubtfire for the night. Oh, hello, dearie. Do you know there's an American that I was messaging me wanting to kid on a Mrs. Doubtfire? It's terrible. Oh, hello, dearie.
You got to be careful about responding to some of those messages. You may accidentally respond to someone's fetish.
Now, I date sometimes for on the lives when I'm doing lives. They'll say it in the chat and they'll say, "Oh, kid on your Mrs. Doubtfire." Oh, hello there, dearie. There's a man in a bunker somewhere in the United States, you know. He's listening to every word that I'm saying right now, you know.
God, I would love to. I wish I had my old CB.
Well, for a
I would
second
love
there, I
to
thought
hear
you were
the
going to
chat.
say I love Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh yeah, it's a good movie.
What do you want an old CB for? You can buy them off of Amazon for like 30 quid.
No, like my old CB, I had one, but it broke.
Roger, this is the rubber duck. Maybe I'll start Drew off in the chat again. That's my brother Drew. He's right into Convoy, the film.
It's like, no, I mean, things are actually stepping up so much. I've put out a notice with some of my contacts in local law enforcement to let me know if they spot anything.
You know. So what other strange news is happening? What other things with the UFOs is happening?
We're gonna have to set up like we're gonna have to set up a ticker or something to keep track because that's how fast the shit's moving.
I see the Pentagon's basically agreed with that guy that's the whistleblower. Is that agreed?
Yeah, David Grush. Yeah.
I don't think he is a whistleblower. I think he's been told to do this, right? He's been like, look, go and
He's
do
been
it.
given authorization.
Yes. Come on, look at Edward Snowden. He leaked some documents and now he's in bloody Russia because he's if he comes back, he'll probably face 5,000 years in jail.
I was about to say, actually, that's a very good point. Think about when Edward Snowden's stuff was coming out. If everything was nowhere near as important as politicians were trying to say, officials were trying to say, why did they spend so much time trying to hunt him down before he got to Russia?
Because they had secrets that he's obviously shared with Putin. And look, Putin's come out multiple times and says that aliens are real.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's multiple times that he said it. And I find it interesting with Obama is he did that he can either confirm or deny that extraterrestrials have visited the Earth.
Oh, he was just screwing with people.
He was screwing with people. Look, I don't think that the presidents know the full story. I really don't. Especially know that one that you've got to know. He's probably wandering about the Oval Office somewhere looking for his trousers.
Something they bring up on Ancient Aliens a lot, and not a lot of people realize just how true it is. There's levels of, people naturally assume the President of the United States, he's going to have the highest security clearance in the country because that would be his job. But no, the CIA managed to arrange it to where there's at least 20 levels above him.
There's like the President of the United States, is the Commander-in-Chief and stuff like that, right? but there's people above him that are so deep, it runs deep. I mean, there's obviously the black, and this is where it does get dodgy. This is when they do listen to you. We're always talking about the dark government, the black government that runs the world, right? The secret world government. And you think about what they know, you know what I mean? Drew Mole, what's that? NSA, you've got the NSA too. I mean, the CIA, you've got, look, it runs deep. There's even organizations out there that have got more power than the CIA or NSA. They're called, and they've got their own basically military. They've got their own jets. They've got their own helicopters, gunships. They've got their own battleships. Or destroyers don't use battleships anyway. They've got their own destroyers. They've got their own nuclear submarines. Look, they've got their own military, right? Their own military. You notice I'm talking about this. I'm starting to break up, and so do you.
Oh God, Dots.
It's not disclosure. It must be Grey Pride.
Grey Pride Month. Oh, just as we all know, there's plenty of people who are all for 50 Shades of Greys.
I've never seen it. Have you?
Bits and pieces.
Will you fast forward through it?
Hey, in my defense, it was just awkward knowing that I had the same name as the lead woman in it. But hey,
Yeah. No. Look, well, you don't look like her. That's one thing. You don't share that similarity. I mean,
no,
can you
no,
imagine
just
if
a
the guy
name.
can you imagine if the guy came out of the bedroom with always chains on and stuff and his whips and stuff like that, and you were standing there? He'd be like, "Holy fuck! What the fuck happened there? Where is the woman?" You know, whips out.
I don't know. Some of those. Hey,
That's-
you're the one
people love this,
confessing
by the
about
way,
your.
you know. People love this.
You're the one
People,
confessing about your dominatrix there fantasies, man. Some of them
it's
don't
no
care
good.
as long as they
Ladies
still
and
get the
gentlemen, ladies
paycheck.
and gentlemen, you have to learn something about Dakota. He's got all the leather stuff and all that, and the kind of buckles. And but anyway, that's the story.
Not this time of year. The leather shrinks.
Oh, how do you get into that? By the way, do you use like talcum powder or something to stop the friction?
No, that's the thing. It's like it's this time of year is not a good time for it because the leather shrinks when you sweat on it.
Can you imagine that today, Drew? And that's Drew. I'm talking to Drew's paranormal. Can you imagine that in the heat today, 32?
And wearing nothing but leather. Yeah.
Wow.
I doubt how
You
that
make
would be
strange
sexy.
sounds walking through the graveyard.
And ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, we live up to the name Bald and Bonkers.
Exactly, ladies and gentlemen. But look, let's face it. The UFO disclosure is happening. I would have thought the world would have been panicked. I thought the folk throwing themselves out of windows, people burning themselves in the streets, their religions crashing to the ground. But will that still happen when they all arrive in their spaceships?
Because there's still a bit of deniability. While, yes, when it comes to the, like the body cam footage from the Vegas incident on May 1st, that type of a camera in itself is a lot harder to physically manipulate just because of how the lens works. But there's still deniability. It's like, oh, everybody was making fun of the fact where I said it's Vegas. Trust me, you don't know what goes on in Vegas.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Why do you think Zach Bagans set up shop?
Exactly. Mike, where are you? Mike's probably hunting him the news as we speak. Look, I mean, when do you think we'll start seeing like mass spaceships above cities and stuff like that?
We're supposed to start seeing it by next 2 years minimum.
Do you think the Project Bluebeam, we were talking before the show, the Project Bluebeam and stuff, and how you're saying they hijacked it and stuff like that? Do you think they've got to use that so as they don't get shot down? So obviously, if they shoot it, nothing will happen. But let's face it, our technology is amazing. Get what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely Project Bluebeam. Yes, there's a lot of people still trying to push that narrative, but that whole operation's been compromised by our side we've taken it over. Yes, it's going to still be utilized, but not in the way that it happened before. And if they do try to push that false flag alien invasion, it's going to be nowhere near as severe as they wanted it to be.
See, I've heard it you get it on YouTube, you get it on TikTok loads. They're going to be Project Bluebeam. They're going to fly these artificial spaceships over London, right? And then stealth bombers are going to fly over and bomb the city, and they're going to blame it on the aliens. You know how they'll notice the stealth bombers? Are they stupid or something?
Here's the thing, like we talked about before, this whole narrative of trying to control the population. The first thing, and world government, anybody who studies just basic human psychology know this. If you want to divert people's attention, all you have to do is take away their basic needs for survival.
Aye, if you if you start
food, water, shelter.
Yeah, exactly. And huddle once all the bombs start going off, say they set off a few bombs and say, oh, it was the aliens for space. They could easily do that, and then they say, oh, everybody has to move into cities for safety. And this is where the 15-minute cities come into. Because they'll all get the population all grouped together. They're getting people out the villages and stuff like that. See, I think this is the agenda all along. I was talking to somebody yesterday about it, in the future, I wonder what cars will be like in the future. See, in the future, I don't think there will be cars. I think there'll be these drone things that drive you about. And I think everybody will share them because everybody will live in these 15-minute cities where we're watched 24/7 a day. Get what I mean? I honestly think that's what's going to happen.
But here's the thing. If we go to ascend, as people try to say, to the level of a lot of these ET societies, there's going to be no need for that type of surveillance because everybody's going to just be able to tell what's going through someone's head. Just because of how much they're developed. In fact, with humans, one of the dead giveaways of a human surrounded by aliens is that the human broadcasts their thoughts way too much.
Yeah, I'm gonna say a film here, and what's happened in the last week is kind of like this movie. You ever seen the film with Mel Gibson, and it's called Signs?
Oh yeah,
minister, and he lives in a farm with his brother, which is like was a baseball player or something like that, and a little girl and a little boy. And what starts to happen, there's like strange UFOs appear around the world, and then there's a sighting there's like a sighting of an alien in a family's garden at a party. This is kind of what's happening now. See, this is quite interesting because it's like the movie's playing out. And then everybody's told to lock up, and everybody locks up and hides. And then the big invasion begins. The invasion begins, and people are kidnapped to be these extraterrestrials. But the extraterrestrials are terrified of water for some reason. They won't go near water. Water is like poison to them. Do you know? Feel like this is a wee bit like the Signs film?
In a way, yeah.
Because if we look at the extraterrestrials that visited the people in Las Vegas, right? Why did
they probably would have issues with water?
Why did they pick them? Why did they pick that family to do that to?
If I'm not mistaken, just based on what I've seen, I haven't really had a chance to look into the family yet because I would love to get them on a show one day. At least one of them has military service behind them.
Yes, I've seen that.
At least one of them has military service behind them.
And
so
the boy,
it could very well be a luck of the draw situation. It's like, okay, yeah, he'll do.
But here's the interesting fact: the boy that said he's seen it has just got a TikTok now and all that, and YouTube, and he's big. He's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, telling his story.
Yeah.
Right, but I just feel that was a total setup. It was a total setup from the start to the finish. And like you said, right, for the military base, that's where the problem were for. I just feel that this is like that film Signs with Mel Gibson. I feel like, I don't know Drew's abandoned paranormal, but why water hurt the aliens in the film Signs.
I think they were
But
trying to go for a salt on snails kind of approach when it comes to that.
yeah, I just feel like it might be heading in this direction. I'm betting that something's going to happen. See, either this week coming or next week. I bet you something comes out this week, something happens next week, and something's going to come out every week. No, I bet you it will. It's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And maybe these sightings are going to happen.
That's the plan. More and more of these sightings are coming forward in our context on the other side. And a lot of people, try to keep an eye on me because they realize apparently Elena and I fly the same galactic circles. That's the plan. They're going to basically the plan is to fill up the water behind the wall dam so high to where the dam bursts. Yeah. And it is leaking.
So what they're going to do basically is they're going to be a lot more videos out there of wee aliens looking round corners. Oh, look at this CTV camera that catches an alien. Oh, look at this CTV camera. There's another alien. And there'll be all different ones. And eventually, the internet will be abuzz it and then it'll appear. I'm telling you, this is what's going to happen.
Think about it. It's like we're seeing, ever since that whistleblower stuff happened, we're seeing a lot more of coverage of everything that news broadcasters were making fun of. The idea that we've reversed engineered alien craft, all of this. They're seeing a lot more coverage of it. It's happening, folks.
See, this is what I worry about, Terry. And I know that the extraterrestrials, the nice ones out there, want us to be better and stuff. But do you think, right, when the public finds out for sure that there is extraterrestrials out there, the financial system will collapse?
That's kind of the plan.
Yeah. It'll collapse because, and some churches will collapse too, let's face it. And I don't think there'll be a need for like vehicles and stuff like that in the future. Petrol ones anywhere, diesel ones, because obviously they'll give us technology. Their technology will surface there, because if they've got the technology for these ships and stuff, there'll be technology there to make a car run 10,000 miles and next to nothing.
Yeah.
You see where I'm going with this? The technology, the system that we live in, the system that we use and we rely on will crumble within a year.
I've mentioned this on a few shows before, but there's actually a committee when it comes to the industrial complex that finds corporations if their products are too good. That's why it seems like things only last until the warranty. Like, the warranty ends, then the next day, shit breaks. Corporations get fined. But when it comes to these technologies, the main thing, why there's been so much, why the military's been wanting to use them so much ever since they first caught wind of it, especially around the 1940s, is that there was very little need for maintenance.
Yeah.
Very little. Now, granted, it's one of those situations that if something goes wrong, you're fucked, because, the one thing you never want to hear an astronaut say while in outer space is, uh-oh.
What's that dot saying, MC, at the bottom there? The giggle factor is starting to be left behind on MSM. Good sign. What's he saying there?
The giggle... Okay, for, situations like Project Stargate and everything associated with that, there's almost kind of a slang when it came to military operations about how much this is going to be made fun of.
Yeah.
That's the giggle factor.
Right. Here's another thing I want to bring up, and it is kind of about the UFO disclosure, and it is kind of about what's happening in the world right now. Have you seen all the wildfires in Canada?
Yep.
Have you seen the pictures of New York City?
Looking like a Martian surface.
It looks like something out of Blade Runner. It really does look like something out of Blade Runner. What I found quite interesting was that if you look at the satellite views of Canada, see all the fires. And I'm going to tell you something here. This is quite interesting, ladies and gentlemen. All the fires in Canada started at the exact same time. Right? Do you know that the police in Canada are investigating all the fires for arson? Do you feel that they're doing this deliberately so as they can say, "Oh, this is climate change," right? So as they can try and bring in Orwellian laws to say, right, you have to get rid of your car, you have to do this, you have to do that, and get rid of your petrol cars and diesel cars and stuff. So as they can bring this in. So I feel like the aliens are here to try and help us and stuff, but at the same time they're bringing this in to try and to like blind our eyes so as we look in the opposite direction. Did you find that? Because let's face it, everybody's talking about this, isn't it? Well, look at New York. I mean, Jesus, God Almighty, you can't. It was ridiculous. It looked like New York City had been transported to Mars. I mean, Mars is clearer than that.
Yeah, because
It's never really been like that before, has it?
Unless Mars, unless there's a major windstorm on the Mars surface, yeah. Okay, here's the thing.
See, that's what it says.
The official statistic when it comes to fires is that at least 49% of them are human caused.
Yeah.
Majority of that usually suspected to be dumbasses with fireworks or gender reveal parties like the major California one. And yeah, they're going to be inspecting it for arson because, once again, people are dumbasses.
See,
that's why there's always an increase in body count when it comes to Yellowstone this time of year.
People are saying, "Oh, the 4th of July and all that's coming up and stuff like that." And they said there was people setting off fireworks and stuff like that. It's Canada. Come on, there must be some bloody.
The fucking Canadians have firecrackers that are called the American Schoolhouse.
Really? I didn't know.
Yeah, they have that shit. Yeah, and it looks like a high school building. You set it off, and it's like a bunch of firecrackers are going off on the inside to simulate a school shooting.
Oh my God. See, that's interesting, but it says again, smoke is a good cover. It is a good cover.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you wonder. I mean,
knowing how thick-headed some New Yorkers are, the whole warnings about wear a mask, everybody's going to be going out with major respiratory issues for the rest of their lives.
That's what I do find interesting. There was one person talking about it in the news in America, I think CBN or something. I can't remember. It was a news American station I was watching, and they were saying, whatever you do not breathe in the fumes. They're highly, highly toxic.
Mm-hmm.
It's burning wood. It's burning plant life. Is there something else going on here that we don't know?
The purest of smokes can still fuck up your lungs.
I know, but what I'm trying to say is there there's been a lot of videos out there with like this weird stuff on the roads when it's been raining, and the roads actually kind of looks all soapy coming down for the rain.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Aye,
I've seen
there's a truck driver. There was a truck driver. He's like, "What is the hell's going on?" For like nearly 60 miles, it was just all like soapy.
Yeah, that's acid rain. It's not necessarily, it's a lot like, a windstorm. People in Florida not going for cover. It's not, to quote Ron White here, it's not that the wind is blowing, it's what the wind is blowing.
I've also heard this too, right? I don't know if it's true. I've got friends that stay in Los Angeles, right, near Los Angeles, and they were telling me the other day, see, for the last couple of weeks, it's been really cold there, and it shouldn't be.
The weather pattern that's running through the U.S. right now, that's actually causing it to be about roughly 20 degrees cooler than it would be about this time of year. Mind you, it's 75 Fahrenheit over here right now. This time of year usually gets to be about 100s for me, but the weather pattern, the way it's hitting Los Angeles is where the major stream is actually going for.
Yeah.
The way it's hitting the U.S. is what's causing all the smokes from the Canada wildfires to concentrate towards the East Coast. So yeah, it is a little odd.
I mean, right, I'm going to say this. I'm in Scotland, right? It's a little odd, the weather that we're having right now. We only usually, I mean, I don't know if Drew will agree with me in the chat, and Drew's abandoned paranormal in the chat there, but the weather's warmer than usual. It's weird.
See? It's Scotland. Everybody freaks out when it's a beautiful day.
I know. What's that? Whoa, 11262. I'm Alberta, Canada. It's been reported as arson is at work 80%. See, that's what I mean. The
Yeah.
police are investigating it. I watched the satellite. There's loads of videos on it, and it shows the fires are starting. Basically at the same time, the same day, or at the same time, within like 10, 15 minutes apart, all starting, all the way down. I mean, who's doing it? Who's doing this? Is it terrorists that's doing this? Is it spies for where, Russia or whatever is doing this? Or is it people wanting to bring in their climate rules so as they can tax the poor and take away your car and stuff like that?
And this is where this is the thing where people really need to be careful before they're jumping on the hand train, because I've been seeing people like, oh, it's all direct energy weapons. Oh, Canada's just using drones with flamethrowers. Okay, first off, the drones with flamethrowers, that is a legitimate firefighting tactic.
It's fire breaks.
That's basically it's supposed to help choke out the fire.
Yeah,
that's a legitimate thing.
It's called fire breaks. Yeah,
we may know that, but the dumbasses who are trying to spread conspiracy theories and completely fudging up everything, halting any progress to figure out.
It's all over TikTok. It's all over TikTok. Oh, look at this! There's a drone dropping fire, and I put multiple comments which I get banned off their site for saying it's a fire break. They burn the section, the controlled section, burn it, so when the big fire gets there, it's got no fuel and it just dies. That's what it does.
Yeah. Washington State here in the U.S., they frequently do controlled fires in their forest regions just to kill off any resources that a wildfire could use. And they have some of the lowest wildfire rates in the country. California, take fucking notes.
Yeah. Of course, you got to remember, long ago they used to let the fires burn. Right?
Yeah.
They used to let a section catch fire, then the next year a section catch fire. And what I've noticed it here in Scotland, we've got a lot of like pine trees. And what happens is the pine needles and everything falls and it gets deeper and it gets deeper and it gets deeper. And you're actually meant to let that burn. You're actually meant to take that out and burn it. And that's not happening. And what's happening in California is it just keeps falling and it's getting drier. Drier. No. All it takes is somebody to ping a cigarette.
Yeah, no, this is a legitimate thing. California residents, they shot down any legislation that would have allowed firemen to be able to do that, to avoid everything. I mean, that one family that had the gender reveal party that's having to pay trillions of dollars in damages, they probably wouldn't have to have that. Yeah, the family, this was a couple years back where one of the biggest wildfires in California history was traced back to a gender reveal party. The family was charged for everything criminally. They're not going to be able to pay for that for the rest of their lives. You know, if California actually stepped in and did the proper measurements to prevent these fires, that probably would not have happened.
Yeah. It's look. The world is a bureaucracy. It's a madness. It really is. And hopefully our friends from beyond. I mean, let's face it, how many is there? How many different species is there in this galaxy?
At least 100 that interact with this planet alone.
Yeah. I mean, where do you think we'll be in 100 years from now? Like, say the aliens come down and stuff like that, and say we start getting the technology. Where do you think humanity will be in 100 years? Obviously, I'll be dead. You might still be alive, but you'll be quite old. Where do you think we'll be?
We'll be where we should have been.
Yeah. Can you imagine what society would have been like, guys, in the chat and everywhere that's listening to this, if we had the technologies in the 1960s? We would probably be living on Mars. We would probably colonized a few planets by now.
Well, we would have the public would have been officially aware of the colonization efforts that have already been taking place by private corporations. But think about it. We have all of these environmentally friendly technologies that legislation is trying to push for that ain't going to be of any fucking use. Figures. We've had that around since like the 20s. Yeah. The 1920s. It's literally, they say always, you always hear a talk about the lost century. Yeah, we've had these technologies since the 1920s. We already knew how to make it. But again, people in power shut down anything that actually frickin' worked.
I know. And I'm amazed that our lives managed to last as long tonight without them debilitating us. Either they know that we found out that the Hangman knew and they've maybe left us alone. Maybe they're just sitting listening to us.
Or maybe whoever's the new fucking person that was harassing you and Drew got pulled off.
Yeah, because they were making noises.
That seems like a very rookie mistake to have made, though.
Yeah.
Damn FNGs.
You know, I'm looking forward to tomorrow night because obviously the discussion will continue tomorrow night about this. And
Yeah, and
I'll see if I can. I will go into TikTok and I will see if I can find some videos and upload them.
Well, we'll see what happens. I've been reaching out to some well-known UFO people, some people that we've had on the show before, as well as some ones that we haven't. And who knows? This is going to... Fuck, we may have to do more shows just to cover the UFO bit by itself.
Yeah. I think big things are coming, you know. I think big things are coming, and I think we're about to see history being made. You know, I think we're
not
about
to.
see history.
Where it's happened. It's happening.
It's happened. It's happening. And I see there's quite a lot of things now happening in Antarctica too that the people are not talking about. And there's been a lot of strange things going on there too. It was weird. I just heard something again. It was like somebody clicked. Oh my god, that was just like somebody clicked a phone down. That was weird. That. It's just a wee click. It was like, can you hear that? That's all it fit. It was like somebody lifted a phone. See how my internet dropped there a wee bit. And you notice when the sound comes through, my internet just drops a wee bit, as if they're taking a wee bit of the bandwidth up. See, guys, it's absolutely crazy what's going on. It really is. And I wonder what we got to talk about when the aliens eventually come.
I know.
We'll have to have one on for an interview.
Screw that. Everybody's waiting to see what happens with me because what everybody else in the world's going to call an alien invasion, I call a family reunion.
Well, I mean, you're just going to have like 500 grandkids and children run about you screaming, going, "Daddy, Daddy!" like that. And I'll be like,
then you find out that you go up there and don't have a penis.
I know. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine if you'd woke up, guys, and you're a different alien and you don't have that? Can you imagine how devastating you would be?
Do you realize how much this man was actually freaking out after the last time we had Elena on?
But can you? But see, here's the point. What happens if you actually see all your pictures on Facebook and stuff like that? You look like a handsome young extraterrestrial from the planet. I don't know where. But anyway, what happens if you look totally nothing like that? What happens if you ever watched The Orville? What happens if you're just a blob with a big eye? And they don't want to tell you because they want to keep you in your mission. You've got loads of wee blobs running about for you.
No, but that's the thing. I've seen my other body. I know what I look like. I actually look a lot like this, but with much sexier hair.
Yeah, sexier.
That's the big indicator.
Except that his wife probably opened the pod and she's combing his long wavy hair.
I'm being serious.
Hello.
I'm being serious. At the interview I did with Tony Rodriguez, I've been trying to work on putting together a timeline of my events. That's been the main indicator of when I can tell if I'm on Earth or if I've been up in space, whether or not if I've had hair.
I wonder if it's possible to swap pods. Can I, please, Lord? Can I, whoever the?
Why is my signal dropping right as I say this?
Why can I not wake up first in the pod and swap pods with Dakota? What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? Something with 10 arms and legs and big tentacles coming out and all that.
Yeah, now that I think about it, it could be a lot like that movie Passengers, where if someone wakes from the stasis pods too early, they could actually have some They could be
I
like
don't know.
Lawrence Fishburne. Let me finish. It'd be like Lawrence Fishburne's character where everything in his body's just shutting down because he woke up too quickly.
Yeah. See?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what's the show tomorrow? More discussion about UFOs and strange creatures from beyond the grave.
We're going to see if we can find some more information about the stuff we've already talked about. And maybe I can
Yes.
tell you about the secret business meeting I have on Monday with someone you've been trying to convince me to get on a show for quite some time.
Who you getting when? Let me think.
Not
Elton John.
No.
No, Elton John. I want Elton John on. I want to come on there playing his wee piano. What about? Give us a clue. Give everybody in the chat a clue. Come on. What's that? Be careful what you wish for, Chris. What do you mean? If I want to wake up in a pod looking handsome, rugged, interesting, I've just got to look like, like James Bond or something like that.
Can you film yourself doing it? We'll see if we notice you leave. Are you talking about like? I think she's talking about like the abduction situations. You gotta remember, I'm seeing this only through StreamYard, and there's like a 30-second delay when it comes to the comments.
Hi, question for you. Why don't you set up a camera videoing you, and then it'll capture them beaming you up?
Actually, what I want to do, this is actually something I've been thinking about, is find my old security camera and link it up to my capture card, so that way I can actually hook something up here. Because I've been able to do the dream, like the sleep talking app, and be able to catch even more voices when I'm being taken. So it could very well. So here's the thing: is it? Okay, I see what she's getting at.
That's just I see. That's the thing. You don't really that because it's a different dimensional travel. You could sit and look at somebody in it, and you wouldn't notice.
No, there's every now and then, depending. It's again one of those things that relies on dumb luck. You can catch somebody leaving a body if you do it just right.
It's been done. I've seen it. I've seen it in people that
it's been done.
Dying. I've seen it when people that's been dying, and you see like something coming out their mouth, and it floats up, and it goes, and just disappears. It's like a wee orb. But what we need to see when the extraterrestrials they land and they come out. We need to have somebody on this show with us, because he said that he doesn't think that they're visiting Earth as Lex for Lex Paranormal. We have to have him on. We have to maybe get him an interview.
Oh,
a big blob of like that, Brian. Brian, are you watching? The aliens are coming for you, Brian. They're going to do terrible things to you.
Nando, we're getting the loop for you.
Nando, he's got a fascination with probes. I don't know what that is, by the way.
Yeah, no, he seemed awfully excited when I made that joke.
I know. He talks about it all the time. He gets really excited. He's probably sitting in the mirror with his big shiny thing there, and he's getting all stuff with it, But that's a story for another time, as Mike would say.
Oh, yeah. Drew Goes asked, you could deliberately do something for the camera, could you not? If you have decent enough control over it, yes, but once again, all the best stuff that gets caught is usually by accident when it comes to this stuff.
Yeah.
So
there you go. So what you up to the rest of the night? What you up to the rest of the night, Dakota? What strange alien abduction tonight?
Maybe we'll see what happens.
You should do a live stream one night from outside at night, and we'll all watch it. You never know. We get the aliens coming and stuff. It'd be early in the morning for me, but
I have some interesting photos that I haven't shown yet on the show that I caught. I think I may have caught something by accident when I was trying to look for the Northern Lights, but that's another story.
Yeah, it's a story for another time. As much as I've drunk all my zesty beverages tonight after saying all that.
Yeah, I wish I had a drink right now.
I am thirsty as anything after being out with Drew the day in the hills of Scotland and videoing and that. I'm awfully thirsty. I think I've got probably heat stroke. but there's a thunderstorm rolling in. I can hear the rumbles in the distance.
Yeah, the top of your head does look a little red right there, so.
It does look a bit red. I don't know if anybody's looked. If I turn my light off, it's so noticeable. But it's like can you notice it? It's red over my eyebrows, right? It's red over here, and it's a complete white stripe all the way around my head. I'm like one of these, sweetie, would you call them? A licorice all sort. You know?
Well.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching the show tonight. Bald and Bonkers Show. I must have that. I like the new background. Skyfall, you know? That's like the James Bond fan, that.
Yeah, and I figured, I style up the background a little bit more,
I see the logos and all that in the bottom corner where we're all streaming to. I mean, remember and tune in tomorrow night, guys, because we might have some photos from Dakota. Hopefully, they're decent ones. I mean, as they're no the kind of MS ones or anything like that, SMM ones or that.
I was like, no, for
chains and bucks and stuff like that, and shackles.
At least the photos I go to provide are better quality than the pixelated shit you always bring.
What do you expect? Do you want me an alien stunt saying this is my control panel, this is where I work and all that? No?
Anyway,
yeah.
It was cool cinema auditorium watching the latest Transformer. Yeah. I heard this last one was pretty good.
Disguise. You're too young to remember the first Transformers, the old one,
Well, the voice for Optimus Prime is still doing it, so.
You don't even care who He-Man is. Kenny doesn't even care who He-Man is. Diabolical.
I know.
You who He-Man
I've
is?
seen him. I used to watch He-Man.
That night I brought him up with you and Elena.
It was Elena! Elena didn't know who it was.
You sure?
Yeah.
With his big sword. He-Man, his big...
Yeah, you were saying Thor-Han looked a lot like He-Man. I understood the reference. Elena didn't. I've seen He-Man. I've seen the original cartoon. My mom recorded a bunch of tapes for her birthday present one year. I don't know whatever happened to those. Oh well.
Oh well. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a fantastic Saturday night, and may the aliens come take you all away tonight.
Yes. If the weather is permitting, be sure to stand outside and watch your backyards because something's coming. But nevertheless, live long and prosper.
Yes.
Thanks for tuning into the Bald and Bonkers Show. If you enjoyed the show and want to show your support, head over to our website at baldandbonkers.net. There, you'll find our merch, services, and more. Thanks for being part of the Bald and Bonkers family, and we'll see you on the next episode. And remember, always keep